couple of weeks ago, I spent the weekend in Liverpool. The last time I was there, I was 11 years younger. This time, I stayed in a hotel where time seems to stand still, where the past was not yet lost and the future was not yet lost. I looked in the mirror over the faux green marble Formica sink, and I searched for signs of the 11 years that had passed since I last saw this city. I looked out the hotel room window and saw the same tower that was visible from my hotel room in 2013. Time seemed to collapse on itself. Milan Kundera wrote in The Unbearable Lightness of Being that people usually escape from their troubles into the future. They draw an imaginary line across the path of time, a line beyond which their current troubles will cease to exist. But Teresa saw no such line in her future. Only looking back could bring her consolation. In these days since I returned from Liverpool and the whole world changed, I know how Teresa felt. I take myself back in my mind to that hotel room in Liverpool, and I try to summon the self I was on the second day of November. As I write this, that was 10 days ago. I try to project myself 10 days into the future, and it's hard to imagine that my current troubles will cease. But perhaps they will, if the witches and astrologers are right. They say we just have to wait, that Pluto's about to enter Aquarius, that we're about to enter the age of the divine feminine, that the spirits are looking out for us. In 2013, my sister and I told each other ghost stories in our Liverpool hotel room. In 2024, I tell my husband I think our room must be haunted. It looks exactly like the kind of room that would be haunted, with the panel molding on the walls in the bathroom with only a bathtub, no shower. We go down to breakfast for the full English buffet, and Jack jokes that we've gone back in time. The breakfast room does indeed look and feel like some ghostly relic from the middle of the last century. I wish we were living in the past. Don't know if I wish I were living in my personal past or if I wish I were living in society's past. I imagine myself as a hotel guest in the 60s eating the same full English buffet. I wonder if I would have been less stressed out. I wonder if I would have felt less pressure to be perfect, to prepare, to wait for ideal circumstances, to move, to act. I wonder if I would have seen a clearer path to what I'm supposed to be. I wonder if I would have felt less fear. That's how I've always thought about the past. I've always imagined that if I could just be transported back, I would see everything clearly. This is the comfort Teresa seeks in The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and it's the comfort I wish I felt now. It's the comfort of knowing how events play out, knowing that it's fine. So, seeking comfort, I turn to my past selves. I go back to the weekend in Liverpool. I went to a pub with a vegan Sunday roast and porcelain dolls sitting on the windowsills and a live jazz band. It felt like the kind of place I would come all the time if I lived there. Two women sat at the adjacent table. "Do you like horror movies?" one of them asked. I was wearing my black velvet and lace dress, which must have tipped them off. I said that I do. They invited me to a horror movie night, and I didn't have the heart to tell them that I don't live in Liverpool, and I wished more than anything, though, that I could attend. These must be the seeds of community, I thought, that elusive thing. I go back further, 11 years to be exact. I remember being stressed out about a final presentation for my master's degree, and I felt pressured to work when all I wanted to do was immerse myself in the city. I knew I was leaving the UK later that summer, leaving for good, I thought, yet at the back of my mind, something in the energy of Liverpool told me that I wasn't done with this country, not yet. And less than a year later, I would weave imagery from that trip into my applications for British PhD programs. It felt almost like destiny. And now, on a morning in November of 2024, that not too long ago weekend in Liverpool has faded to black. The 2013 trip has faded to black. I feel scared and alone. I tell myself I'm lucky to be in London. I worry about my family back in Michigan. Horror images, real horror, not movie horror, of what might be lying in wait pass through my mind. I turn back to myself from last weekend, that little optimist, so excited by the idea of forming community. I see my 23-year-old self gradually taking hold of what she wanted to learn in the world, yet looking back at both of them, I see their limitations. I see how they moved through the world with fear. Fear of what? They couldn't even say. I think maybe I see now what was on the other side of that nameless dread. My past self looks at me and I look at her. She has that aura of past certainty about her. She looks at me again. "You're ready," she says.